We got a request to do a video about migraines, so Lance, this video is for you. Imagine being able to stop a migraine in its tracks, or better yet, prevent it from ever happening in the first place. In this video, I'm going to go over strategies to hopefully do just that. Now don't get me wrong, migraines are very painful, they're very stubborn, just like a mule. However, there are things that people have found that can be very effective in stopping a migraine and preventing a migraine. I really hope that this helps for you. In today's video, I'm going to give you 10 tips that you can use to help fight the migraines. The first thing you're going to do is target those trigger points. Trigger points, muscle tension throughout the neck and the shoulders and even behind the shoulder blades can be a trigger for migraines. The first thing that you're going to do is get yourself a nice sock. Okay, wow. That took longer than I thought. And you're going to put 2 tennis balls inside that sock. Just like so, they're going to be evenly spaced just like that. And lay down on your back and put that right at the base of your skull. Tuck your chin to your chest and roll backwards until you feel like those are on a really tender point, but it should feel also really good at the same time. And you're going to hold there. You're just going to lay there for 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, once again, 30 to 60 seconds on each one of those points. If any pictures of my feet end up on the internet, I'm going to be so mad. You can also do some different trigger point therapy where you feel through your trapezius muscles, which are right up here on your shoulders. And once you find a trigger point, which feels like kind of a tight knot, it should be tender, you want to grab it with 2 fingers and lightly squeeze. And once again, hold that for 30 to 90 seconds and then move on to another area. The muscles that you're going to be looking for trigger point therapy are the trapezius muscles, the sternocleidomastoid, which is what we call the SCM. The reason it's called that because it attaches to your sternum, your clavicle, and also this bump in the back of your skull called the mastoid process, but we just call it the SCM. But there can be a lot of trigger points in there. So you're going to want to comb through that muscle, find one of those trigger points, and gently squeeze and apply that pressure. You can also do that behind the shoulder blades or in the neck. Now, dealing with a migraine can be kind of like a forest fire. The first few minutes are the most important. The sooner that you can get after this, the better that you're going to be able to contain the spread of that fire, of that migraine. So when you're starting to get those symptoms of a migraine, reach for ginger. Ginger supplements, 400 to 500 milligrams a day, can be shown to not only decrease the symptoms of a migraine that you're having, but it can also lead to prevention. So these first few strategies that we're talking about, these are how to stop a migraine when it's happening or how to minimize the pain. In the second half, we're really going to talk about what you can do to prevent that, and there is definitely some crossover on these 2 lists. This next strategy, number 4, might seem a little counterintuitive, but you got to get out there and do some aerobic exercise. Now, when your head's hurting and maybe even pounding, I know the last thing you want to do is to go out and do some exercise. What you'll probably want to do is go lay down. But by getting your heart going, pumping, getting those lungs opened up, if you go for a run, ride your bike, a swim, or even a brisk walk, it can actually really get out in front of that migraine. Give it a shot, it might just help. And number 5 is something that you're not going to be able to do at home, but it can be super effective, and that's seeing a chiropractor. Getting your neck adjusted is a very effective way at stopping a migraine, minimizing a migraine, or even decreasing the number of migraines that you're having in a month. There's research to support this, and it's also one of those things that I've seen in my own office. I've had many, many patients with migraines over the years, and as we get their neck moving better and functioning better, it can really help to calm these down, limit the intensity, and minimize the frequency. Hopefully, you're one of the lucky ones that isn't dealing with a migraine right now. And if that's the case, let's keep it that way. Now we're going to move into prevention and maintenance. The first thing that you're going to want to do is get a diary or a journal so that you can keep track of your activities. Some things you want to look at is what medications am I taking? Is there a correlation with taking certain medications and having more or more severe migraines? What kind of foods are you eating? Different foods can be triggering for different people. So it's definitely something you want to be aware of. How much sleep are you getting? How much water are you consuming? What are your activity levels like? Really track them down. I know it sounds like a lot of work. You can simplify the process and just get yourself some quick notes to take, and day by day, you're going to start to see patterns, and you might be able to identify some triggers that you weren't even aware of. One of those things is, if you drink soda, don't drink soda. But if you do, drink Dr. Pepper because it's delicious. Studies have shown that too much caffeine, 3 or more servings a day, can be a big trigger for migraine headaches. When we're talking about a serving, that's, I think, an 8-ounce cup of coffee, a 2-ounce serving of an energy drink. So not all servings are created equally. If you don't ever drink caffeine, then even 1 serving can be enough to tip it over. But if you are someone who drinks caffeine regularly, limit it to 1 or 2 servings per day, and that's going to minimize your chance of really triggering those migraine headaches. Speaking of what goes really good with a Dr. Pepper is a steak. Eat a steak. And what I mean by that is ketogenic diets have been shown to decrease migraines. Changing up your diet can be a key for you. So a ketogenic diet is one in which someone is minimizing their carbohydrate intake to less than 50 grams per day. Once again, might seem like a little bit of work, but it's not that hard to get in the habit of tracking how many carbs you're eating. If that is something that you're interested in, is taking a ketogenic diet, once again, talk to your primary care physician. But just know that that might be something, a lifestyle change, that can minimize those migraines. And it can be hard. I get that. But it's also hard to deal with migraines, and especially for some people, it can be so debilitating that their quality of life is next to nothing. So it might be a sacrifice worth making in order to see if that works for you. Okay, coming in at number 7 on the list is stress reduction. Stress is terrible for migraines. Probably should have been something that I included in my diary that I was mentioning. Keep track of your stress levels, stressful activities, different things that you might be able to cut out of your life. But also, by incorporating a stress management practice into your life, such as mindfulness meditation, that has been shown to really decrease migraine intensity and frequency. There's plenty of videos out there that can teach you how to do that. Find what works for you, but sitting and breathing in a calm environment can really bring down that stress level and help you with your migraines. Strategy number 9 includes magnesium supplementation as well as vitamin D. For magnesium, you're going to want to take 400 to 600 milligrams per day. And for the vitamin D, you're going to want to take between 1,000 and 4,000 international units per day. Those two things have also been researched, and there is some evidence supporting that those can be very helpful for migraines. And lastly, we have number 10, yoga. I know I mentioned aerobic exercise earlier in the video, but yoga has also been an exercise that they've studied, and they've found that it can really help people with migraines. It's gentle stretching on your spine. If you're a beginner or new to yoga, make sure that you really ease into the process and you don't try to be doing the advanced moves right off the bat, because I can imagine certain positions of the neck could flare that up, but nice, gentle stretching of the spine through yoga can be something that can really help. So there's 10 strategies that you can use in your own life that can help you stop a migraine in its tracks or prevent migraines from happening in the future. Let me know if you've used any of these, if any of these have helped you, or if you have different ideas that you can add. Also, please subscribe to our channel. It means so much to us when we get to see people are enjoying our content, and we love feedback. Any questions or comments you might have, I'll be sure to answer those. See you in the next video.